Hello, I'm also looking at two carved statues. These are carved wood. The wood is oak. It has got little flecks in the timber, which is known as feathering. And the backs are flat, meaning they are suitable to go on the wall. The bottom has a plinth, which is made to be pleasant from the underside. It's quite important when you see wall-mounted statues. Sometimes they have very blank bottoms and they're not really meant to be hung on the wall. These were meant to be hung on the wall. And the back is cut with an adze, A-D-Z-E, not cut with a plane or a saw. So we've got a lovely piece of wood, which is oak. And I think that the likelihood is, though oak comes from different places, including Turkey and all over around the Mediterranean, different types of oak. These are going to be from Belgium or Flanders, the Flemish area. It could be French, it could be further to the east. And the characters show two saints, possibly clerics. And I think that it's likely there were more than two. I think there would have been a dozen, perhaps. The banners, which are carved wood, solid carved wood, end in a scroll. So this pronouncement or sign has black Gothic characters on it. It's Latin or for a foreign language. I don't know which it is. It's very well painted, and it starts up here and goes all the way around. So it has some interesting writing on it. I don't know what it says. And this one here does not appear to have damage. Just I think it's a different scroll. This one here has the right hand showing and the left hand holding up the cloth in quite an unusual way. That's not something you see a lot. There will be a significance for that, and I don't know which saint or disciple it is or who it's supposed to be. This one has both hands showing. The colour of the flesh is very dark, and it appears to be considerably ancient. The skill in the hair, the eyes, is notable. This one has a beard. They have these odd hats, which are probably ecclesiastical costume of some sort. I don't know where they're from. The hooks are antique, but not necessarily the originals. There are other holes on the back of that one and on that one as well. So they might have had other hooks. It is possible they were part of a scheme or part of an organ or an internal chapel within inside a larger building. So there could have been architectural features or trim of a tomb or something. But certainly they were meant to hang high because of this bottom. So the size is the key. I don't think, because they're small, this is not a medieval size, for lack of a better expression. I don't think they're touristic, because they're not freestanding. I think they were made for a church, probably, and a chapel, perhaps a domestic chapel, maybe. And I think that they look, even though they look medieval, 1500, 1400, even though they look medieval, they're not medieval, they are medieval revival, if you like. And I think they will come from about 1850. It could be earlier. The things that hold them back are the size. The basic trim, this sgraffito, is very, very ordinary and doesn't look very medieval. And the feet are not as good as the faces. The plinth itself at the bottom, pretty weak. So the bottom is weak, the sgraffito trim is weak. Other than that, with the faces like that and this lettering, I would be putting those at 18th century. So they have a gold paint, and both of them, though they are solid wood, both of them are covered in gesso, the whole thing. a few millimetres thick. There is gesso on the back of them where you can see the workmen have got it stuck everywhere because gesso is glue and plaster mixed up. And that means that once the gesso has dried, they've been able to sand it down, and it's an appropriate finish for gold and for paint. It's not open grained like the oak would be. You can get statues made of oak, but they have to finish it, and it probably takes a lot longer to finish oak, like anything like this standard. What they've done with the gesso, which is white, is they've covered it all with red paint. You can see it here, this red paint. And then on top of the red paint, they've put a white paint for the banners, and then they've put a gold paint for the rest of it. It could have been leaf, possibly at one time, because there are areas of red, which is usually associated with the glue paint for gold leaf, the bold. So they're very interesting things. This one's got writing on it. I don't know what it says. I can't read it. I've tried very hard to read it. I've looked both ways. I don't know. It's not Islamic, and it's not Eastern looking, so that's one of the other reasons I think they're probably from northeastern Europe. They're very, very beautiful things. The patina is exceptional. The faces are good. They're useful decoratively. There's two of them. They can put on the wall out of the way where they're not going to get knocked over. Someone will know what they are, who they are. Someone will know what all this means. They're also for sale. Unfortunately, saints like this are not inexpensive because they're rare, hard to get in pairs, and if you start looking for wooden saints, you'll find a lot of them are crummy, literally crummy. Some of them are woodworm infested. There is now a lot of Portuguese, South American carved religious iconography being imported into England, and there's also a lot of Philippine carved iconography coming over, and also there is quite a lot coming from South America, so not all of it is European. And if you take away the reproduction ones, the fake ones, and the decrepit ones, the split ones, the rotten ones, there really is not a lot at all. And that's just talking about the wooden ones. Most saints you see will be terracotta, either raw or painted, or there will be plaster, or there will be paper mache, or there'll be cartapesta, which is rags and clay and glue. Of course, there are resin ones as well, the fake ones. So there are all sorts of materials these are made of. And if you're looking for wooden ones from Europe, which are not 20th century, you want two of them, it starts to get difficult and expensive. They're in Malta for sale for someone who would like to have a go at them. Thank you.